Hi folks, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course,
Very
Bob.
humble too. We always say that, Brad, aren't we?
Yes, we are very humble.
Today, Brad, we're going to talk about how to work out with low back pain, sciatica, herniated disc, maybe you have all three, maybe you have just the low back pain.
Sure.
I get a lot of people that contact me and they say they're having this pain, they can no longer work out. And I'm like, well, why not? I mean, there's some things you can try. And
Right.
So we're going to come up with kind of 3 rules first to what you want to do. First off, if it's just normal run-of-the-mill back pain or it's a herniated disc, I do want you to try to do a prone extension or a standing extension before and after the exercise. So this is a standing extension because a lot of times the back is made worse by going this way.
Right.
It's better by going this way. So you're going to do like 10 of these right before you do the exercise, or you can actually just go ahead and lay down like this and get on the gym floor and do a couple press-ups like this right before you do the exercise.
Sure. And these should be tolerated well. It should feel like a good stretch, like, oh, I'm a little looser now I can go do my work.
Yeah, that's a whole video in itself. So I would only do exercises that are controlled, Brad. I wouldn't be doing tennis and golf where your back is going into flexion and twisting and rotations.
And high impact, sudden movements.
Right, exactly. Karate or
Exactly.
Softball, baseball, all these things that or bowling. There's all these things you can't do but you can lift because you can keep your back in a good neutral position. You're not flexing, you're not extending, you're keeping it right in this safe zone.
Right.
And obviously we're going to go by pain levels, aren't we, Brad?
Right. If you do these exercises, any exercise and it's creating pain, particularly symptoms, numbness, pain, whatever, down the leg, big red flag, stop right there.
It's making things worse.
That exercise goes off to the no can do side.
The other exercises I would not do, Brad, even if you're lifting, is the ones that load the spine.
Sure.
So you're creating more load. Obviously, the big one I'm thinking about is squats. You're
Right.
putting big weight on your, that's putting, even though you keep your back straight, you're loading the spine.
Right.
You're putting too much compression
Putting
on
pressure
it.
through those discs and vertebra. Overhead lifts, if you're one of those people that like to do your tricep curls like this, I would not do that. Anything with weight in your arms over your head.
You're loading the spine.
Even if they're lighter.
And by the way, if you do have a back belt, I'd go ahead and wear it. While,
Sure.
Brad's got one here. But there's the weightlifting belts. All those would be obviously a good idea.
And if you've got one like this is a...
That's just an old elastic one.
Right, but it has a concept that I do like for back belts is you can keep it loose, and then when you start to do the exercise that's going to put a little stress on your back,
pull it tight.
You can pull it tight, so it doesn't have to stay on you tight for the whole time you're working out when you're just relaxing.
Just doing while you're doing the lifting.
Exactly, while you're exerting.
So, by the way, Brad, I see a couple new people peeking around the corner at us here.
Oh yeah, there they are.
So, if you are new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We have provide videos on how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free. We upload every day. Subscription button here, subscription button there. And by the way, if you don't like us, like us on Facebook because we provide free things on Facebook all the time. And right now, the thing that we're going to be providing over the next week is the Napo memory foam lumbar support. I got a photo up of it right now. It's a pillow cushion for low back pain relief for home, office, and car use.
Right.
So, very versatile.
Yeah, I like that. I can't wait to get one of these myself because I want to use it in my car.
I'm going to let you try it.
That memory foam.
Yep, you're going to be our big experimental.
I'm the test. I'm the guinea pig.
All right, let's start off with some exercises you can do, Brad.
Let's do it.
Quite often, I think one of them that you can do, and if you get down very careful onto the ground, is why can't you do push-ups?
Sure.
Because you can keep the back straight.
Right.
You're not putting it straight. And, you can start off just by trying some on the knee.
Right, take some of the pressure off.
Take some of the pressure off. And this is a good core strengthening one anyway. This is strengthening your core and your chest. So it's good for the back.
Right, and you might just start out with some simple planks, as long as it's pain-free. If you start to move and it starts to hurt, well, it may not be ready for you yet. Wait till a few days from now.
Now, since you're in this position too, this is another one you could try. This is just a good core exercise. Sometimes people start by laying down with a pillow underneath them. Should I show that way first, Fred?
Sure, I'll get you your pillow.
Because this one's a little more advanced, but wow. So you can put a couple pillows underneath here, one, and you're just going to lay down like this. And you're going to start with your head down, and then you lift up the opposite arm, opposite leg. Opposite arm, opposite leg. for a count of 5, 10. And you're strengthening the back and core by
right
doing
here. And that pillow can make a big difference.
that. Then the advanced version would be to actually go like this, the pointer dog.
Right.
Keeping your back straight and doing the opposite arm, opposite leg.
There you go.
Now, the easier way to do this is actually with a ball, Brad.
This is the way I personally do them on a regular basis. And it really makes a big, this is much easier.
Yeah,
but
it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to start.
it works the same muscles though.
Yeah.
Takes stress off the back. So the ball can be a great tool for this.
All right, let's go next to the one that I don't know. I think most people could do this, Brad. Can we simulate a bench press here? So obviously, this is a little wide for a bench press,
Yeah. From that angle, they might not be able to see the width.
So, look at, again, by the way, get down on the bench correctly.
Right.
What you're going to do is you're going to lay onto your side, bring your legs up, and then roll over onto the bench.
Trying to keep that back as neutral and straight
Don't
as possible.
be doing this. I'll show you the wrong way to get out. I'm going up like this. Look at that. I'm curved the back, or getting down that way. I'm curving and twisting the back.
And it's going to hurt anyways.
Yeah, it's going to hurt. Get down on your side and roll onto your back. But look, my back is supported the whole time.
Right.
As I do the bench press, I'm not putting additional stress on the back.
Right.
So,
And you're working a lot of muscle groups. It's a good overall strengthening exercise. Just don't put heavy weights on where you have to push your butt up.
right, doing this type of thing.
Right. Just use moderate weights. Use good judgment.
I suppose you could do some triceps this way too, right,
Sure.
Brad?
Yep.
So, what are we up to next here, Brad?
This is supposed to represent a barbell.
Oh, yeah.
The weight, we don't have the weights on there.
That's
of
about how
course.
much weight I can lift too. So, how about curls, Brad? We talked about curls. I think curls would be a little bit dangerous in standing, especially.
Right. What people that are oftentimes, because you're doing this, it's putting stress this way, and you may end up into this flex position. Or some people, they just don't do curls right in there.
Yeah, they're going like that.
They're doing like that. I think in an incline bench.
Right. I'll try to simulate that. Let's pull the bench back here. That one.
Someday we're going to have all this equipment in our studio, but
So
not quite
an incline
yet.
bench, your back like this. You got me, Lonnie? And now the back is supported, and you
Right.
can do the dumbbells, right,
Right.
Brad? Start down here, up here, down here. Doing these.
And
or
again,
these.
good judgment being used. If you're going to max out on the weights, it just may put stress on the back. So use weights. Your body will tell you if it's too much.
The next one I think is actually be helpful again is doing pull-ups, because
Sure.
with pull-ups, Brad, you're going to actually you're pulling down, you're strengthening the lats, the latissimus dorsi, which actually really strengthen your core.
Right.
They go attach into the back.
Right, it's attached right to that lumbar fascia, which is all the supportive
Right. I mean,
mechanism.
the lats come down, and they form. They go right into that, like you said, that fascia, and they're coming right down into that, and they're giving some good back support. And
This is the body's natural back belt.
yeah, very good point. I think the other thing is when you're doing pull-ups, you're getting some traction on the back.
I know I've used that. Again, use good judgment if you get sharp pain. But if you hang on a pull-up bar and it just makes your back feel good, I would continue to do that. You're not going to hang there for 20 minutes, but 15, 20, 30 seconds, depending on how it feels. Give yourself a break. I use that for my back on a regular basis.
Now you can do lat pull-downs too, which would be like using these right here. You'd have to be sitting down.
There we go. You got me, Lonnie? And here, I'm focused on good
really good
posture,
posture.
and I can do these pull-downs. Okay, and you could do this on a machine that has pulleys with plates, cables.
Yep, that would work out real
You
good.
better believe it.
All right, dips. I don't know. This is quite a hefty exercise, but I don't know if you don't do dips, do you, Brad?
I do, but I use a machine that displaces my weights because I can't.
Oh.
I like to have more control.
I have a dip bar at home, so and my wife probably says she has a dip at home. But so basically, again, what are you doing, Brad? You're unloading the spine here. So I certainly think you can do these. I don't want to watch the chair's going to go on me. And a good way for getting some chest and getting a little bit of triceps and works out well for that.
Again, be careful with that. I have a feeling that one's either going to feel good Or it might be uncomfortable depending. If your back's really sore, probably all of these might be too early. So use good judgment.
Yeah.
You know, if you're having a hard time just getting out of the chair and walking and it's just very acute, it might be time just for a cold pack. So this is
Right.
when you're starting to recover a little bit, but it's still hurting.
Yeah.
Good judgment's really important.
How about, we thought squats really just no way. You know,
Right.
There's no way you can do squats unless you're going to do, which we said, maybe the ball on the wall, and you're going to do some shallow ones. Do you want to do those?
Sure.
Brad? I'll get this out of the way.
It's going to work your quads and your glutes, not as much as a body workout as a real squat, but it's the next thing to it. And you're putting the weight and you're supporting right in that low back, and it actually feels good on your back. And you're going to keep good posture.
And you really aren't going to want to go very far
Right.
down.
This is what some people do inadvertently, and then I always have to correct them. Make sure you keep that good posture back up, and you're just going to go down with what's comfortable. You know, you can have something next to you here for a little support, and work it as tolerated. It's going to work those quads.
Why don't you bring it over here, Brad? The last one we'll show
Ah, yes.
again is, and again, you want to get down on the bench, right? But you can do some, or on the floor, you can do some hamstrings here.
Yep.
So you can just push down into the ball here, and then you're going to just go ahead and bring it back like this. You can keep your back down if you want.
Notice Bob's pushing into the ball. He's
Yeah.
making that ball bulge out a little bit. So
I'm not sure how this would feel. It might feel okay. Yeah, you have to
depends what
decide.
phase of the recovery you're in.
And then you could also just do push down with one,
Yep.
and it makes it a little harder.
Yep.
And even go like this. There's
Sure.
two different ways of doing it,
Yeah.
but if you go with just one and you push down, it's a lot harder.
Oh yeah,
Actually.
and you feel it. Those hamstrings are working. It's very clear.
So show some caution, but we think you can give it a try. Thanks for watching.
Good luck.